Welcome back to the Pot of Greed.
Welcome back indeed, folks. We're here with a new tentative setup that we're trying today.
Yeah, we have a table now, so I can rest my hand on it.
Yeah, let us know what you guys think of this. Although actually maybe don't, because it'll probably be different next week.
We're going to get a different color table.
But we're here to talk about many things. Yu-Gi-Oh!, games, anime, news, and you're at the best place for it because this is the only podcast.
On the internet.
But
I should let you guys know that I am under the weather today. Paul says that if I don't pod, there's a Moroccan family who will be firebombed if I do not. So
yeah, I did say that.
I am here despite it all.
Yeah, that. Anywho, before we get into all of the fun and exciting festivities, we do need a favor from you guys, and that is
put your ones up.
Yeah, ones in chat if you're watching the YouTube premiere. Of course,
gang, rise up.
If you're watching later, that's fine too. We'll take a thumbs up and a comment as payment instead. This is going to be a fun one. I think we're going to have to like just zoom through the Yu-Gi-Oh! Not like zoom through it as in not talk about it, but there's just so much. It's going to be like a lightning round.
Good luck. I mean, whenever we talk about Yu-Gi-Oh!, we send the yap and yap and yap. But that's what you guys are here for. You're here for us to go on incoherent ramblings.
Okay, so what Yu-Gi-Oh! Do we want to start with? I think there's like big stuff, and then there's like middle stuff, and then like I guess small stuff.
Let's just get the big stuff out the way early, so that the people who came here for specifically the big stuff can dip.
Yeah, they can listen to that and then leave and destroy our watch time. Well, we have a new ban list. Didn't expect that.
Would have thought.
Yeah, and it's sort of like, I guess, an emergency ban list is what a lot of people are calling it, because it sort of came out of nowhere. It was certainly ahead of the, I guess, prescribed time schedule that you would have expected of like, January or something.
It feels like a week and a half ago we were lamenting the loss of our like favored format, and then Konami's like, no, slow down with these like criminals, so these weapons of mass destruction, ban.
Yeah, so this one was just a bunch of bans. We lost basically 6 floodgates and then 1 hand loop card. So it was Evil Swarm Ouroboros, the hand loop card that
Shout
can
out
be
to Oro.
Abused heavily.
Never played for a good reason.
Yeah, never used honestly. I mean, maybe used honestly when it came out.
Yeah, back when Evil Swarm were a thing, that was the only time.
Yeah, Eclipse Twins and the Automat decks, they can spam Ouroboros and just rip your hand out. That's gone. Thank goodness. I really am very glad about that. Also, just a bunch of like kind of the walking floodgate cards. Fossil Dyna, Pachycephalo, Barrier Statue of the Drought, Barrier Statue of the Inferno. Conspicuously absent was Barrier Statue of the Torrent, but I'll talk about that, I guess, in a sec. But also Artifact Mjolnir. Nobody really liked that one.
Another banned artifact.
And Dimensional Barrier, another one of those types of cards, and Arch Nemesis Protoss.
Which, honestly, the fact that Protoss found his way off the ban list was crazy to begin with.
So I don't really know even where to start with this because there's so much to say. First of all, it's been, I guess, like years. It feels like almost 10 years or something since we've had a ban list that feels like you could maybe call it an emergency ban list.
I mean, and we've never had a ban list with, this many bans.
Well, maybe.
So we've had a 6 ban before?
This is actually 7.
7 bans? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we've had some dense ban lists, but I guess just the nature of this one is unique. I think the last time I remember something that people kind of called an emergency ban list was like the Pepe. And that was like early 2016, so it's been almost 10 years. And some people argue that was or wasn't. I don't know. The point is, though, there was a very specific goal I feel that they had with this one. I feel like they were like, okay, listen, we're not trying to adjust like deck power levels here. This isn't about like hitting Mitsurugi or Yummy or whatever deck you don't like. It's more about like getting the, I guess most would say like objectively just uninteractive, like kind of non-game cards out of the picture. And I'm glad of it. I think that this was a good call. It feels like it shows that Konami is really like paying attention, and that's good.
Though I do think the D barrier hit was for branded.
Yeah, I feel like that was probably a sell product.
I felt like they were like, okay, let's like pave the way a little bit. We got a new deck coming out.
It is interesting. I don't know if the video will be up by the time this pod goes up. Maybe not. But I did make a video. It got me thinking about like kind of just the state of stun in Yu-Gi-Oh, like stun cards and their place in Yu-Gi-Oh, because there were people who did not like this ban list, which is interesting to me. There were sort of two camps of people outside of like, so I'd say like 80% of people like this list, 85. Most players are like, good, get these like toxic, uninteractive floodgates out of the game. But some people didn't like it, and I either heard them say, oh, well, they should have hit, why did they hit like Mitsurugi and Yummy and stuff? Because, the Mitsurugi Yummy deck is the best deck right now, and it's, understandably, it is quite strong. It's annoying. But the other side of the argument, because like we established with that, I don't think that it's that they were like making this list to hit decks. I think it was more about... This was not
a balancing list. Mm-hmm. This list was to acknowledge the fact that players hate these cards, and Konami said, you know what? We hate them too.
Yeah, so the other group of people, though, were kind of like, well, I don't like this ban list because I was using D-Barrier to counter some of these top decks. Why are they taking it from me? Or even some people were like, why did they hit Fossil Dyna? Like, I play a stun deck and I like it.
Well, we all hate your stun deck.
Yeah, and so like I kind of have different... I try to, you know how it is around here. I try to give people their due with these opinions. You get
misunderstood.
Yeah. I get the sentiment. I do. I know that like playing stun like as a deck, like, summon Fossil Dyna, set 4, Necro Valley, Solemn Judgment, whatever, D-Fissure. It's annoying as hell. I don't like it. Nobody really likes it. I think, however, that like that deck is a deck that has defined strengths and weaknesses and like limitations with how well it can perform. And oftentimes those decks aren't even the ones that like top or win like at a YCS or a regional. But they're still really annoying. And so like it's fine with the cards being gone. I do think though that like if Konami wants to, because the problem was that like Mitsurugi, Raizel and stuff, they could search for these cards.
Yeah, it wasn't that Konami was trying to hit stun decks. They were trying to hit these war crime cards
that are being abused,
being used in actual good decks. And usually, because like no one actually cares about stun decks. They're not going to they're not going to top the event. They're definitely not going to win the event. And oftentimes a little bit of siding, and you can essentially side your way out of your stun matchup.
Yeah, literally like a Duster, a Lightning Storm, and evenly they're cooked.
But in this case, good decks were branching into combos that dug these cards out, and they oftentimes didn't even use their normal summons. So they would just plop them on down after they make their 2 or their 3 interaction board, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, Infernal Flame Banshee is searching for, a barrier statue or Gallant Granite. And so it's really obscene, and like, the alternative is like, oh, do you ban like Flame Banshee of all cards? Because like that's not an unfair card. It just happens to search an old card that is now an unfair card in the context of today.
Because like you can hit Flame Banshee, right? But then the barrier statues are still in the game waiting for another card to eventually search them. Yeah,
I mean, some people were saying like they should have gotten rid of the water barrier statue that got lucky. I guess they missed it this time.
I'm not sure why they didn't just go ahead and just catch the water.
Because we've lost half of them. Half the barrier statues are on the list.
I guess they just wait until the card has done something problematic on a large stage.
Yeah.
Because while, yes, water decks have been able to cheat out that statue and lame out some games,
I think people see the water.
Popular.
Yeah, the water deck's not as popular, and I think it's because it's so fragile. Like, the Mermail kind of Atlantean thing where like they can hand rip you, they can barrier statue you, but it's such a glass cannon compared to maybe like a Mitsurugi, a Raizel, whatever. Anyways, though, I guess like to answer my thoughts on like sympathy around like losing these stun cards, I don't have much, but I will say that I think that if Konami is going to hit all these floodgates, it would still be nice if they could, rein in the floods themselves too. Like maybe let's not be making decks that can summon like 15 times and go through 2 or even 3 engines without having normal summoned. Like I still think that is something that would be nice to see balancing wise.
It's a very good point. We would not have needed to ban any of those barrier statues if we didn't design archetypes that could go so crazy and go as far as digging those cards out the deck without using a normal summon. Now, that just says to me that the card design has gone absolutely insane.
Yeah, so that's like a separate issue. I'll go into more detail on that in an actual video, though, so you can look out for that one on the main APS channel. I think it's a pretty good one. But yeah, so that's the ban list, and I mean, it went into effect like this week. So anybody who's like, competing at locals, regionals, whatever, I'll actually be probably playing at a regional this weekend.
Oh, which one?
Yeah, it's going to be in Kentucky.
Kentucky Fried
So
Chicken.
if anybody happens to be there, you might see me. But yeah, so like it's going to immediately affect the format and allow, I think, more interactive games is probably the goal. Hopefully, we'll see where it lands. Yeah, so there's that ban list, but then there's technically kind of another ban list, which is that Genesis format got its first major points adjustment, and this one.
Major is right, honestly.
This one's an interesting story because, like, for the first time, technically, I guess they did that one early points adjustment that they did, like.
But that was so quick.
But that was like
it didn't feel like a moment. Yeah,
it was like a .001 update type of thing. So they have adjusted some point values here, and this time it's a little bit weird because we don't have like a barometer of what this is supposed to look like. You know what I mean? Like, we have no history of a Genesis format,
It's the first time
hit. So like, what's that supposed to mean? And it's interesting. A lot of cards got their point values increased for the most part.
And some cards got their point values decreased.
Yeah, and some cards got their point values decreased. I'm not going to sit here and go through all of this. It's far longer than what like a ban list would be. But
there are some interesting ones, like how Bells of the Diabolic Dragons went from 0 to 100 points.
Yeah, FTK.
Because FTK nonsense.
Yeah, a lot of the cards that were kind of being proven to be used in FTKs got their point values pretty drastically increased.
There were a number of cards that went from 0 to 1 point.
Yeah, certain stuff went from 0 to 1. Like, for instance, the Generator Xyz monster got its value increased from 0 to 1, and that is specifically so that you have to choose between using like Levitine, that's their generator boss guy, or using True King of all calamities, because generators were able to make True King obviously quite easily, and so it was like they had access to this Floodgate Xyz in addition to whatever their deck could normally make. So now, just by increasing it to just 1 point, they have forced you to make that decision. I think that's pretty cool.
I saw like Dynamorphia, 2 Dynamorphia traps each got 1 point. I don't know what they're borrowing you from in Dynamorphia, but
it's all about
probably for the best.
So I'll get into that actually.
Oh, okay.
It's all about last turn.
Oh, Jesus.
Which was being used primarily in Dynamorphia decks. There were other decks abusing it. I want to talk about that separately, though, because there's like a whole conversation around it. But a few other trends that I noticed in this were that they mostly, like they said they were going to do, they hit Pot of Extravagance. It went up to 10 points. That makes a pretty meaningful difference. They hit Vanquish Soul because it was far and away the most popular and successful deck so far in Genesis. Exo Sisters got a little small hit. One of the decks that conspicuously avoided hits was actually Radiant Typhoon. That was one of the ones that was doing well early on. And the Odeon deck as well did not get any point increases, and those were pretty strong ones. A few decks that I think like were probably sneaking around doing a little better than Konami maybe wanted were like branded kind of variants. They upped like Sprint and Titaniclad, I noticed. They added some points, or small points to K9 Noroi. Yeah, like Foxy Tune, Goblin Bikers got a few things. So there's like,
there were 2 things that stuck out to me.
Okay.
2, and they're big for me, honestly. They decreased the point value on Mazin, the ninja.
Yeah, they did.
Decreased his points because ninjas were hit pretty hard out the gate. So
for seemingly no reason.
It was hard to get them off the ground. I think I talked about in the pod once before, but there was this rumor on Reddit that a Konami employee had built a crazy busted ninja deck.
Oh, it wasn't a rumor. They just confirmed that was a thing.
Oh, was that confirmed in the article?
In their blog post. Okay. Yeah, they were like, somebody apparently did something.
But we never got to find out or try it, and they came out with points on your X-Deck monsters, which made ninjas hard to build and play. And then U-Bell, actually, they took their foot off U-Bell's necks. Now, there's a caveat to that.
Okay.
Phantom of U-Bell actually got a point increase.
It
already had points on it. Oh. They increased it from like 50 to like 75 somewhere, and close to that. Wow. And then they decreased cards like Grave Squirmer and Nightmare Throne.
Oh yeah, Phantom of Yubel went up to 76.
76, that's it.
Jesus.
But they decreased a lot of the main Yubel cards, so you can actually, as long as you don't mind just not getting to play Phantom of Yubel, you can get a Yubel deck off the ground now.
I mean, it's kind of cool to think about the idea of maybe just playing a Yubel deck without it entirely.
That's exactly what I want to do.
Because you could just do like something with like Loving Defender and kind of make it more on theme. Not that Phantom of Yubel is off theme, but you know, it's a different card.
It's really powerful, and it actually kind of takes away from what the base Yubel deck was trying to do to begin with. Because like we stopped that like super poly nonsense when Phantom of Yubel came out.
Yeah, they something else that they kind of did was they decreased the value on most staples. Like a few staples kind of got their numbers like increased. Like Iron Thunder got added on, I think. It had a point value of 0, and now it's like at 5. And that's a kind of a Solemn Judgment equivalent type of card. Same with Solemn Scolding. And like Super probably got a little increase. But the general trend I noticed was that staples, particularly the older ones, like those older spell cards, like Premature Burial, Mirage of Nightmare, I think went to like 0.
Monster Reborn.
They actually decreased those. I remember them saying in a blog post how they felt like they were surprised that people weren't trying to use these banned cards, like or the banned card usage. By banned card, I'm talking like Mirage of Nightmare, you know, the Graceful Charity, Pot of Greeds. People actually were not using many of those, and it's, you know, not to kind of say I told you so, but you know me on this podcast, I have preached for a long time that cards like Mirage of Nightmare and a lot of these older kind of like Premature Burial type cards simply have not aged well into the way that the modern game is played.
Using a card to get one monster in the modern day is not great.
It's not, and they're not searchable, and like, you know, it's not to say that these cards can't find a use, but when you're literally trying to like decrease Card of Safe Return's point value to make it more attractive to players, I think that really says something about like...
It is funny because Card of Safe Return should go crazy with the way we summon out the grave nowadays.
Yeah, like it sounds like it should be insane, but yeah, they're decreasing point values. However, that brings me to the main topic of this whole adjustment. I don't know what I want to call it, a ban list adjustment. People kind of had some issues with this. I've seen some chatter on Twitter. The big headline, there's a big headline part of it, and there's like a smaller part.
Okay.
So the big headline part is Stevie Blunder is the person who popularized the last turn deck. You guys know who, you know, he just chat, talk, channel, whatever. Anyways, he's been playing in Genesis format, and he played at like YCS Anaheim's like major Genesis event. And he used a last turn kind of like Dinomorphia strategy or something. And last turn is an extremely problematic card for judges because it is really old, worded really badly. It's been banned for like 20 years. And there are so many fringe edge, weird rulings that happen with this card. To the extent that actually in his finals match, he, like, the entire game got delayed for 40 minutes because a bunch of judges could not figure out how to like rule this card.
Oh, Jesus.
And it's really funny because, you know, he's made some videos on this that I've watched, and he was sort of talking about how like a lot of people are misconstruing the way that he was playing the card. A lot of people were assuming like, oh, he's playing it like as a griefing thing. Like I'm just playing an annoying card with the intention of like giving the judges a hard time and just like ruining the tournament and slowing everything down. But actually he was talking about like, no, I wasn't like making a deck around last turn. I was teching last turn into like just an existing deck to see what happened. And it came up in like maybe half his games. But like when it did, there were just so many bizarre scenarios with like how that win con thing works that
I need to read last turn again.
Yeah, it's probably been a while. Most people have not read that card in literal ages. So
because I keep a copy in my binder, but you know, I've never thought about it all that much because you can't do anything with it.
So there were like people were making like these YouTube shorts and stuff about like, you know, like this player took this card to this event and like held up the tournament for like gajillion years, and so they've put it to 100 points. What some people kind of were saying though is that like, is this sort of anti-fun? Like, and by anti-fun, it's a complicated argument to make, but the gist is like, are they going to, because in one of their original blog posts, they said, if you as a player come up with one interesting strategy that's like unique to you, and it's not like dominating or anything, we're not going to be hitting points because of that. Here they did, though.
Well,
but conversely, Last Turn is an extremely difficult card to rule. Most judges are not trained in how to rule this card that's been banned for 20 years. And it's like literally like 100 different edge cases that come up. And so it kind of means like there's like maybe one judge in the entire venue that's knowledgeable about it. And so maybe Konami is banning it just to dissuade more play around it.
Because
or I say banning, I guess, putting it at 100 points, thus effectively banning it, air quotes.
Because just like reading this card, this is a horrible card to have to deal with. Sending all other cards on the field and in both players' hands to the grave, all at the same time.
Yeah.
God forbid that triggers something.
Yeah. I mean, the worst part about Last Turn is when it does like the check for who actually has a monster at the end of the battle phase. Because like I see you have it pulled up now. So here's a couple of things. The player whose monster remains alone on the field at the end phase of this turn wins the duel. You can already imagine how bad that is. Yeah. It's not saying whose monster that they summoned with that effect.
You don't have to. It doesn't have to be the monster that battled. It does not have to have won a battle. It just
has to be the player with a monster while the other player does not have a monster wins the duel. There's so many it's insane how much crazy stuff can happen.
Bro, this card is crazy because it's open ended as far. The only condition you have to meet is have 1,000 or less life points and use it during your opponent's turn. You can use it essentially at any point.
It's Dynamorphia, so remember they're gonna always have 100 life points. So
yeah, they're always gonna be under 1,000. Its win condition only triggers at the end phase of the turn.
Yeah, so you can literally get their monster off the field. You can summon a monster of yours that prevents them from being able to legally summon a monster. There's so many weird things. But yeah, so the conversation that people have had is maybe Konami hit this too soon. Maybe that by hitting cards like this, they are discouraging maybe creativity because it's just okay, you can be creative and then we'll ban it. I don't know where I land on this argument yet. I'm just expressing that is a view that people have shared.
There's an idealistic take and then there's reality.
Okay.
It's great when you come up with a strategy that's uniquely your own and Konami's not going to come after you for it. But when you create a strategy that's uniquely your own, that is, fair, problematic, and then you make content on it, and then other people make content on it, and spread the very idea of the strategy you went for.
Yeah,
it is no longer uniquely your own, and at that point, reality I think has to kick in. Konami said they wouldn't persecute you for your own little homebrew, but you don't let it get viral, and if they get a tournament of let's say 60 people, and then even 20 of them are rocking Last Turn for the entire duration of the tournament.
Yeah, it's trouble.
That's gonna slow things to a crawl.
It's trouble. I mean, I guess I can't say I'm terribly surprised. I just I don't know where I land on that. I think Konami maybe should have let it ride for a little longer. It kind of brings me actually into the next thing people have talked about with this, which is this is a really large points adjustment. And people are kind of feeling maybe is this too large for will list changes this big be the norm in Genesis format? Because we're getting this effectively 4 or 5-ish weeks, basically 4 weeks after the first little quick adjustment. And I mean, there's 100 some odd cards on this adjustment, and people are just kind of it might make deck building feel almost too volatile for them. The idea that okay, you introduce your friends to Genesis, everybody's kind of Genesising up their decks, and then so many point changes happen that it maybe feels like they're jerking you around, right?
I mean, it could be that because this is our first kind of official point adjustment.
Yeah.
That they ended up just making more changes than they would likely intend to going forward. Because this was a lot. And
yeah, that was what I was thinking.
A lot of people,
it's early.
They built their Genesis decks and they went and got the cards. And so, they got invested in those deck lists and now they have to change them. You don't want to have people do that too often, right?
Yeah, sorry, go on.
Because you want to control the format. You don't want to go crazy. But at the same time, if my Genesis deck has to get changed even 3 times within a year, I'm gonna start getting over it. I'm like,
you might just drop this.
Tired of all these changes. But the thing is, I actually don't think Konami is going to do another big points adjustment like this. We might see this once a year, if that.
Yeah, I'm hoping that that's the case. I would like for it to basically be like, maybe point adjustments. I know when they were asking in that blog post, they were like, should we do it like, we were thinking maybe every 4 to 6 weeks. I think it should be like every 6 weeks. Like, I don't think that you should be, just like messing around with it too much. Because like, and this is just coming strictly from and by the way, I'm not assuming that they will. Like, I think that you're right. I think that this is a big one because it's the first. I think after this, we can expect smaller.
Right.
But I will say that, like, you're totally right. For a lot of casual players, listen, Konami, like, you finally got these guys back into a room playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Again. Don't be too, like, not even just like, don't like hit the casual's favorite deck, but more like, don't give them too much to have to keep up with.
Yeah.
Because, like, unlike sort of how ban lists are, ban lists have this history to them where everybody kind of sees a new ban list update and kind of, they sort of internalize it. This is like 100 different cards changing point values.
And it's not as simple as, I just have to take these 3 cards out of my deck because they got banned. Or
yeah, you have to now like completely.
Now you got to redo the math of your deck. And then, so that complexity is one of the highlights of Genesis, but that's also a drawback if people have to keep remathing out their decks, not because they want to, but because they have to.
Suddenly that's tricky.
Yeah, so it can be a problem.
So that's the Genesis point adjustment. I would love to hear how other people are feeling about it. I think that it's good to see that Konami is, they're doing what they said they were going to do. They are trying to tweak and to adjust. And like generally, reception to it's been good, but those were just 2 big question marks that I wanted to bring up.
Fair.
That have happened. Okay, the next Yu-Gi-Oh! Thing is that we got some interesting news around Legendary 5D's decks.
Oh, yeah.
So early product openings have gone out, and the big reveal here is that these decks include Molcharmies, all of them.
Yeah. The deck, the box comes with 3 decks, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's Yusei, Akiza, and Crow.
Yep.
Each deck has 1 Molcharmy in it.
Yeah, and so what that effectively means is that if you do buy 3 of these, you've got your set of Molcharmies. But even like if you don't, there will probably be a lot of, presumably, maybe there won't be a lot of spare ones because everybody's going to want a Molcharmy.
Right.
But the fact that you are getting like just this set of staples, because it's not just them, you also get pretty much a suite of hand traps. There's Ghost Ogre, there's Ash Blossom, Called by, Forbidden Droplet, Crossout Detonators in here, Imperm. That's compared to like even the albaz structure, which is good in its own right, like it's a very good value. This feels even better because like these hand traps and like kind of little like board breaker type cards can go into literally everything that you build for the next few years.
Solid for advanced format. You can even use them in Genesis format. Like it's good, and it's on a product that I was already invested. I was gonna get it for sure. I didn't think I was gonna get 3. But I am now.
Yeah, maybe so. Like
I am now.
It's just like you get, because some of these Molcharmies, like Fuelos had finally like kind of gotten to a pretty manageable price, but like Perulio was really high. And I remember like at a regional I went to like about 2 months ago, I think I had to like buy a second or third Fuelos or whatever from like my side deck, and like I had to pay like $60 or $70. It sucked.
Boy, it's about to cost me however much it costs to buy 3 of them decks.
Yeah. $60 or $70. 90. No, but this is really good news for Legendary 5D's decks. The bad news, of course, is that it actually got delayed.
Yeah.
It was supposed to come out on November 7th. It is now coming out on November 21st. because of, I guess, a printing error is what I've heard. So a little unfortunate. You have to wait a little bit longer to get your staples, but still, it's like, good news, bad news thing, right?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it still.
Okay, next, we got a few announcements around new archetypes. There's 2. The first one is that they showed some images that I saw around this new TCG exclusive archetype.
I like that they're doing literally just the artwork. Like, we don't even have the names of these cards.
Yeah, the new World Premiere theme and Burst Protocol. Now, we did get a blurb about this a couple months back. Now we're just finally seeing some images. It says, the scientists have been deep in the lab messing around with things that are probably better off left alone. What's that? Scientists with dinosaurs? Okay, well, surely nothing can go wrong with their experiments. Right? And so now we get some art of what looks like, how would you describe this?
He looks like a beefy Dr. Kozaki. You remember that old Yu-Gi-Oh card?
Yeah, I do. Maybe he is. What's he holding? What do you think this is?
It looks... So, I mean, we already seen the images. I feel like it's some type of, temporal,
cell part, like some matter extractor thing.
Yeah, if it's a dinosaur thing, it might be time-related. Or maybe it's just like a DNA thing, right? So it could be like a gene splicer.
Yeah. And then in this next art, we see what looks like, I guess, he got turned into a dinosaur. He got mixed with a dinosaur.
This reminds me, it's screams the lizard from Spider-Man, where Kirk Connors was messing around with lizard DNA, and he ran experiments on himself and became a man lizard.
I like it how you can see the details from the previous image, this sort of, what is this called? The syringe type of thing on the floor.
Whatever that is.
He dropped whatever this particle transmitter thing. His tablet's broken. The screen's messed up. He still has his ID card and red sunglasses.
The impressive part is somehow in this process, we don't know how he turned exactly. He still had the presence of mind to carefully remove his sunglasses and hang them on the collar.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened. So yeah, that's going to be the new TCG exclusive archetype. We don't have really any more details than that, but it's cool. Now the next thing is that we got an announcement of a new set, which is called Maze of Muertos.
That's right. We got a new Maze of set. Turn up.
Yeah, my favorite.
I never actually buy Maze of sets. I just get the singles. But I'm not saying you should do that. I'm just saying that's usually what I do.
So I have gone on record in saying I'm generally not a fan of the Maze sets. I think they're exciting as concepts, but they oftentimes end up... They're not great. But the point is with this is that we are getting a new TCG exclusive world premiere archetype around Bones from Duelist Kingdom.
Bones and his ghost cards.
Yeah, because Maze of Muertos actually means Maze of the Dead. So here's the way that the set looks, which you can actually glean just a lot from looking at the 3 different packs or potential packs you might get.
I'm seeing that, that's the silent... Is that the Silent Swordsman support?
Yeah, I think that's that Silent Magician. I've seen her. I just don't remember.
Or is that the Chronicle one? I don't know.
Either way, there's the Dark Magician card that's from the Tactical Tri-Decks.
Right?
Yeah, from the Tactical Tri-Decks. I also see that Evil Winged Karibo that we've...
Where? Oh, there he is, the hero
see
support.
Him down there. Yeah, the hero support guy. So a lot of other cards that are getting... Oh, there's an Armed Dragon.
And there's Water Dragon.
Yeah. Oh, I also see the Egg Witch or the Dual Sandwich thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, lots of cool stuff. You can kind of inspect it and see some of the imports that we're getting. But the Pumpkin is I'm just going to call it the Pumpkin support. There's some cool stuff here. We see this cave, which resembles the cave that Yugi and his friends got trapped in during Duelist Kingdom.
Bandit Keith trapped them in there, and then for some reason thought Bones was gonna win.
Here's what they say: this field spell lets you set any of your Call of the Haunteds from your deck or graveyard, so you can get all 3 at once, and it powers them up too. So Call of the Haunted sends an opponent's monster to the graveyard on top of summoning a monster from yours. How's that sound?
Wait.
So he's getting a remake, a retrain of Call of the Haunted.
Well, not just a retrain. No, it sounds like it searches Call of the Haunted because it says you can get all 3. What, it digs out 3 copies of Call of the Haunted from your deck?
I also like the way that what you pointed out earlier, which is that they don't actually show us the cards; they just show us the art. Although in this blurb they describe what the cards do, but I like a chance to focus on just the art for a bit. Ectoplasmic Fortification. You can get the field spell or a level 6 zombie, and it bumps up zombies' attack points and draws a card for every Call of the Haunted you control.
What? Call of the Haunted is an actual like part of the strategy. I love that. I'm not gonna lie.
It's kind of on brand though. Have you noticed they've been doing that with like all of these old staples now?
Yeah, with Magic Cylinder,
and Magic Cylinder, and Mirror Force. They've all. Yeah.
And wait. Go back. It says you can get the field spell or a level 6 zombie.
Yeah, so this seems like there's like a normal spell.
And then it gets. But I wonder what is it? Is it Zombie World or?
I think this is the field spell.
The cave is the field spell.
We're kind of reading these in like the wrong order. Okay, so the new Pumpkin or some variation, happy. A new level 6 monster. You can reveal it and discard a card to set Call of the Haunted from your deck, and then you can activate that Call of the Haunted that same turn. And when the new Pumpkin is special summoned, it summons another level 6 zombie from the deck.
What other level 6 zombie would you summon from the deck?
It's probably going to be
Dragon Zombie. Is he level 6?
Maybe. Now here's a new Xyz monster.
Whoa.
Yeah, this is like, it looks like this Pumpkin
I didn't even see this one.
Gone insane here. This Xyz monster protects all zombies. Is it? It kind of looks like it. Yeah, it's definitely a mustache because look, it curls the edges.
That's wild.
This Xyz monster protects all zombies from being targeted with effects. And when it's Xyz summoned, it adds Call of the Haunted or anything that mentions it from your deck to your hand. And you can detach one material to return 2 cards anywhere on the field back to the hand.
A bounce feels random, but I support it. I like this. Oh, there's more.
And then there's also a new rank 7 monster that you can rank up into. Interesting. So it looks like it maybe will just go on top of a rank 6 zombie or something.
Probably a rank 6 zombie.
It can attach an opponent's monster to itself from their field or graveyard as material.
Is that a red eyes zombie dragon?
It definitely is. That is some kind of a red eyes. In fact, those are all Joey's monsters.
Look at that. That's Flame Swordsman. That's I forgot his name.
Is that Garuzzi's or
Gazoozies?
Or no, wait, that's Leogun.
Leogun.
Yeah. Okay, so all of Joey's monsters have been turned into zombies, which is what Bones does against him in that duel.
In the anime, when he used Call of the Haunted, everything became a zombie.
It's a bit of a shame that we didn't get to have these released for like Halloween.
Yeah,
but at least they announced them.
They did announce them in time. Yo, I am super, super duper excited. This is so cool. I can't wait.
Yeah, that's like, okay. So I know I go hard on these maze sets a lot. I will give them one thing that is consistently true in these maze sets. Every single time that they have given a world premiere, like anime-based archetype, it has been really cool. Mm-hmm. They did Gate Guardian. They did Flame Swordsman. They did Odeon. The Man with the Mark, whatever you want to call that. And now they're doing Bones. And I just think like it's consistently fantastic that they do that. I think they nail that super duper well.
Yo, if they name that card like Red Eyes Zombie Dragon, I want to put another check mark in the box of like Red Eyes cards that don't align with a central Red Eyes strategy.
It likely would be the case. So we don't know like too much else about it. I mean, obviously you can like look a little bit deeper at the packs to see some of the stuff that's going to be imported here. But that sounds exciting. I think that comes out on like it's like the end of February next year, I think.
May's time.
Yeah, May's time. No, you're actually right.
The beginning of the year, like January, February, to me is May's time. It always is.
Okay, February 20th, yeah. So, cool. That's exciting. Last major Yu-Gi-Oh! Thing, unless I'm forgetting something, I tend to be, is we have now finished the Fallen and the Virtuous Chronicles anime series.
Oh, man.
Tell us about it.
Bruh. Why, Konami? Why?
Yeah, so the last episode, which is centered around Tri-Brigade Kit and the Springans, came out last week. We've watched it. What do we think?
It was so good, bro. Like,
you were looking forward to this one, right?
Spriggans are my favorite archetype from the Albaz story. And honestly, when they initially announced all this, I figured they were going to get skipped because there's a lot to the branded story, and I just didn't think Spriggans were going to get a whole lot of screen time. But they got an episode, and that warmed my heart. Knowing this was the finale, I thought they were going to kind of rush into a battle to be like a huge, big, final event.
Ending.
but nah, they kind of kept the same pace as all the other episodes.
Chill. I like
they
that.
just, as usual, they sat with their characters. Ecclesia and Albaz are meeting Kit and the Spriggans for the first time, and they made sure you understood exactly what the dynamics of that relationship was like. They were guests on the Spriggan ships. The Spriggans like to hunt and have fun. They like to race and find treasure. They did that. Kit is an inventor. Kit is inquisitive and creative, and the whole time she's on screen, she's like working on things, and you can see they all grew closer as a group. Something that we only could assume from the cards. We didn't know they were close friends, but the animation just made it all very, very clear, and it feels so bittersweet.
It feels very anticlimactic in the sense that, like, that episode left off on a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Like, Golgonda's attacking them. It seems like he has some sort of a connection or influence on Albaz. You see him kind of reflected in his eye. And so it's like, there's clearly something big happening here. And so the fact that we're now just going to pivot to the Charmer story, which I know some people are very, they're looking forward to that. I don't want to, I'm not trying to diminish anyone's enjoyment of that. I just think it's kind of strange to end Branded here when it is a story that seems pretty largely like...
It's unfinished.
Well, just largely liked. Like, I think Sky Strikers, most people like Sky Strikers. I think Branded, a lot of people like Branded. Charmers, I just feel like many newer players won't even have like a relationship with them, really.
Hida.
I guess you use Hida to rank up into Promethean Princess. So I don't know. I'm gonna have an open mind about the Branded thing, or not the Branded thing, but the Charmer thing. It might end up being good. They might be able to convince me that it's.
I just don't think it can hit like Branded does, man.
I don't think it can either.
It's like with Sky Striker, it felt like they didn't leave anything on the table because Sky Striker didn't give us a lot to begin with. Branded, they did a lot with this series, and they still left a lot on the table. There's still more I want to see of Branded. But then I think back on Charmers, and I'm like, despite the fact that there are quite a few Charmer cards out there, there ain't really much of a story. Like, there are characters that grow, but we don't know what or how they grow or why they grow. They just kind of do.
I suppose, to play devil's advocate, we could sort of say the same about Branded to an extent. Like,
nah, bro. Nah.
Well, no, I mean, I know what you mean. I do. Because I think that with Branded, you could... Because what you were saying earlier is true, right? In those early Branded cards, you knew that like they had a good relationship with Kit, but you never really got to see that develop. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of what this show is filling in the blanks of. So in that way, it's similar. However, I think with the Charmers, the difference kind of is just that, like, I don't know that they're supposed to be like, and I'd have to go back and look, like Alex would be maybe the better person to ask for this, but like, I don't think that there's like a defined objective and like kind of beginning and end that like they just become like the familiar possessed, and then I guess I don't know. Like, I guess I'm not seeing as much.
The Charmers, you can look at them a lot like a Pokemon or a Digimon. We see them evolve over time and have basically no clue on why they do. They have it's like first you just have the girls and their little familiars. The familiars kind of grow up and they get vicious, and like everyone kind of gets, they get over it. They get older and they get like secondary familiars. But like, why did any of that happen? What is the purpose of a Charmer? You can't say that about Albaz.
Yeah.
Even before we had the anime, we knew what they were doing and who they were fighting against and why they were doing it. But with Charmers, it's just like, it's just Pokemon.
I mean, I guess the answer is that that's what this anime is going to tell you.
They have a lot. They got their work cut out for them because.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be lying if I said that I really would like to see more Albaz, especially because when you like kind of take the 5 episodes that we got and kind of like, I guess, trim off the outros and whatever, you basically get like, a 24, 25 minute like thing. Mm-hmm. And that's like basically kind of a good episode of anime. And it just makes me feel like, man, like, please. And the main thing is I would at least like some confirmation that we will be getting a continuation. Because like it's Konami.
Crazy to end off on the fight with Golgonda because, well, that's still
it's still fairly early
in the Branded story.
In addition to the fact that like, I mean, it is a cliffhanger. Like they did not leave it off and like, and then they were happy with the Spriggans and the episode ended. No, it's like something attacked them. Like, you know, and albaz had a reaction to it. So they're, you know, whatever. Either way, I think they did a great job with the Fallen and the Virtuous story.
Kudos.
I hope that it translates well to them for whatever internal metrics Konami is using to evaluate these.
Buy the Chronicle deck, guys. I don't know this for a fact, but I feel like they will evaluate if this series was successful in one part by how much of these decks sold. Yeah.
So before we get into the trading card game news, we got to give a quick shout out to the podcast sponsor, eWin Racing, for providing the wonderful chairs that we have here.
It's right there. You see it?
Yeah, we've got these beautiful blue and red. These are the Flash XL chairs. And they've got a lot of cool features, like the ability to recline like this.
Oh, it's on my right side, and I can't use my right hand.
Well, I can recline. Just trust me that it's happening if you're an audio listener. Okay, now how do I get it back up? Oh, that's easy. Okay, also, yeah, you can raise and lower them. There's all kinds of nice features. They're really good.
Lower lumbar support.
Yeah, they're really good gaming chairs. Lumbar support, a headrest. It's magnetic, so you can kind of just slide it around wherever you want.
What? I didn't know that. Oh my God, it is.
Yeah, so we really like these. Ooh. Thanks again to eWin for sending them over. If you guys want to get one for yourself, you can use the code APS30. You'll get 30% off, which is a really nice discount.
Oh, I'm getting comfortable now. I didn't realize I could adjust this thing.
Yeah, right in time for Black Friday. Maybe a good holiday gift even. So yeah, check that out. We will have links down below. And now, let us continue with the card game news. What do we have?
Avatar: The Last Airbender, Universes Beyond. We knew this was coming, and we've already talked about it before. You guys already know, like, I'm not jumping into this.
Yeah.
But maybe this page will change my mind.
Yeah, I see like they have some sort of headlines.
So, let's see. They have a number of things to look out for. They say, enter the Avatar state with Reze foil Avatar Aang card.
Wait, okay, sorry. Before you get into this, I saw a really funny, like, punny wordplay that they did here.
Where?
You can bend the battlefield alongside the gang, and it's spelled G-A-A-N-G, when the set releases on November 21st. Because it's like Aang's gang, so it's the gang.
No.
They got a chuckle out of me, and only that.
Man.
I'm sorry, I cut you off. My bad.
All right, so they're showing off this kind of Reze foil Avatar Aang card.
Oh, it's literally the 4 elements.
Only available in the collector boosters and commanders bundles. So if you want the raised foil Aang, you gotta pay the big bucks. Then they have their battle pose cards. These look like the intro to Avatar when they kind of go fire, earth,
water, air.
There's Fire Lord Zuko and then Katara the Fearless.
Very cool.
They have source material cards.
Wait, I have a question about these Zuko and Katara. They don't have effects. Are these like tokens, or are they? It's just like borderless battle pose cards. Is it on the back of them?
No, these cards aren't double-sided.
They just don't have effects?
I
don't play Magic. If someone can explain, like...
Yeah, explain it to me too, guys, because, these aren't tokens.
Wait, it says, this set features 4 textless neon ink foil borderless battle pose cards, complete with a textless treatment to show off the artwork.
Okay, so these cards normally do have effects, but to show off the artwork, they just went ahead and...
Okay, then how the hell do you know the effect?
You have another copy.
Oh, that sounds tedious.
Wizards, they differ with their card games.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
That would drive a Yu-Gi-Oh player absolutely insane.
Yeah, I don't like the... I love how the card looks, don't get me wrong. Like, it looks amazing, but anyway. And
then they have their source material cards, which... seem to be like screen caps from the anime.
Yeah, that's what these are. They bring shots from the original series to Magic cards. There's a source material card for every episode of Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Dang!
For a grand total of 61 source material cards. It lists the book and the episode that the artwork comes from in the bottom left corner.
That's actually kind of cool.
Yeah, that's neat. Also kind of an easy way for them to pad out a pack.
Oh, you know how it is.
You know. I won't be too jaded.
Recreate epic showdowns on their scene cards. This one's showing off a kind of shared artwork between Fire Lord Azula and Fire Lord Zuko in their in their battle.
Yeah, their final Agni Kai, which by the way was an amazing, amazing episode when they fought. Like that was they brought out Sakuga. It was I felt very good for finally seeing Zuko beat Azula, even though she was kind of losing it.
She was losing it, but up until that point, she had beat his butt pretty handedly.
Yeah, my hot take, I don't think this is a hot take at this point. I mean, I feel like Azula was the best firebender in the series. Like, she seemed so much more dangerous.
I mean, she was more proficient than Ozai as far as just purely off of firebending, and it took everything. Zuko kind of had to just cheese it.
Yeah, I mean, he needed Katara's help a bit because the thing was she could lightning bend or whatever, which was quite rare,
and all he could do is redirect it.
Yeah, and then also like I feel like she just kind of had the most like ingenuity with like her bending. Like she felt on a close level to Toph. Yeah, where like she was good at the bending, like kind of naturally talented, and so she got to a point where she could just get creative with it.
Yeah, she was a genius.
Yeah, she's like a genius. Yeah, so that's kind of cool.
They and let's see, they also have
they've got prices.
Prices for each product. So MSRPs for the Magic the Gathering Avatar: The Last Airbender set follows. Now, we all know that's a laugh when it comes to Magic sets because when was the last time you bought a Magic pack at MSRP? But hey, let's
a play booster $6.99. That feels about like what they kind of are these days, I guess.
I haven't even seen one for that low in a while.
Yeah. Collector booster $37.99. Jesus Christ.
If you could get one for that price, go ahead.
The Jumpstart boosters are $6.99.
Not worth it.
This bundle is $69.99. Commander's bundle is $109.99. What comes in the Commander's bundle?
I don't know.
Okay,
because they show like the cards we were looking at before. They kind of show you each product that they're available in, and
because I think the Commander's bundle seems to imply. Oh, you can click on it. Okay. So you get 1 collector booster, 9 play boosters, 5 borderless cards, 30 lands, and some exclusive accessories.
This feels like what they want to push instead of commander decks for this product.
You think so? Okay.
Because I can't help but notice is another Universes Beyond set without commander decks.
You know what I feel like is that it's probably too much trouble to have to try to design like 4 different decks for a lot of these like just IPs. And a bundle is an easier general case sale. Like, I can tell you to buy a collector bundle. I can tell friend B to buy a collector bundle. It's easy to recommend. Whereas, like, with the decks, it might be like, you might only buy one and they might be like kind of worried or something like, I don't know. I
mean, there is always a situation. Every time they release a set of commander decks, one's going to be extremely popular, and of course there'll be one that will be not very popular at all, and they'll sit on shelves. But I don't think they actually are doing this in your best interest, and I think they're more than capable of having created commander decks for this product and the Spider-Man product. They just don't want to. Plain and simple. I think because, and this is completely opinionated and not actually based on any facts, I think they saw too many cases of people buying a commander deck and then calling it a day.
Yeah, I guess they want to kind of get you to buy more products to like pull.
They want you to take part in the sealed experience. And I guess that one booster pack that comes with commander decks wasn't cutting it. People weren't getting that and saying, I want to buy more now. They were like, yep, I got what I came for and I'm dipping. But we had no choice because your products have been incredibly expensive. And so for some people, for their wallet's sake, the best thing they could do was get their one commander deck and call it a day.
I think that I think this is a cool thing. Full art, like these Appa planes cards or whatever.
Oh, those are cool.
These lands, so like it's just different areas that he is traversing, and like you'll see it's like down here. So he's like just going. He's in the sky, and
he's flying over these different locales.
Yeah, so, okay, if I just scrolled a little bit longer, I could have seen, I guess, they break down each of the products. Okay, well, that's Avatar: The Last Airbender. I mean, like, has any of this changed your mind, like you said at the top?
Oh, man, not really, no. They're cool. It's not. I don't. It's not. I don't even dislike them. I like these cards, but my bank account does not care what I like.
Yeah, I think I might get like. I could see myself doing the thing where like you collect like one of each of the like kind of these full art, whatever they're calling them, cards where like, you know, it doesn't have the textless thing. Like I could see myself trying to get those if they're not too expensive, I guess.
Well, look at what products they're a part of.
Oh yeah, are they in like the collector?
It's right there.
Whatever.
Oh wait, that's a different product. Yeah, they were in the
or I think Steam box. Was that what they were in?
Here we go.
Oh yeah, just collector's booster in the Commander bundle.
So you got $100?
Well, if you're guaranteed to get it in the Commander bundle, I would rather that. Like, because at least I could guarantee that I'm getting it. Is it not like that? Okay.
They're in the collector's boosters, and then the bundle comes with one collector booster pack.
Oh, never mind. Yeah, whatever.
So you know.
All right, well, that's enough Magic the Gathering, I think. No. It's cool. I will give them credit. I think they did a great job with bringing the kind of ethos of like The Last Airbender, kind of I guess the aesthetic, if nothing else.
I don't think you'll be found wanting. If you are an Avatar The Last Airbender fan and you buy into this set, they did it. Like, these are Avatar The Last Airbender cards. I haven't looked into the specific gameplay mechanics that get introduced in the set. I'm sure I'll see it eventually. But it looks fun. It looks good.
Yeah. Okay. Any other card game news? Yes, no, maybe so.
Let's see.
I know that there was some like Pokemon story.
There was a Pokemon story.
Share, but
I could not find it.
Yeah, it was about like a set that had been released.
Somehow people were getting product early, or
we couldn't find an article on it, so we just decided not to.
We gave up.
Speaking of Pokemon, however, there is a very large story that has been kind of hitting the presses.
Oh.
Pokemon's biggest competitive player is taking a break because of fan harassment. So this is, maybe you've seen this, wolfeyvgc, you might know about him. Makes Pokemon
you showed me
videos.
his videos.
Yeah, Wolfey, amazing. I actually have to say, like, of kind of just gaming content creator type people, I think he is an absolute, like, class act. His videos are so well made. He really makes, like, competitive Pokemon into something so consumable, and the production value is very high, great personality, all these things. And he's also a very acclaimed player. He has, won many, like, high profile tournaments. Well, anyway, Wolf Glick says fans have groped him and otherwise overstepped at competitive events. So he made a video on YouTube. This came out last week, and he was talking about how he's actually going to be taking a step back from playing in Pokemon regionals, which regionals are kind of the equivalent.
Yeah, they're like YCSs.
To a YCS. And likely won't be going to Pokemon Worlds next year, like 2026 either. He's also stopping making those Worlds videos, like the kind of Journey to Worlds videos. He would make these videos, they'd be like 2-hour long, like docu-series type
I think
videos.
I watched one because I remember watching a very long Wolfey video.
Yeah, he goes into all the prep that he does, and it's interesting. But the reason why is because the fan interactions and pressure, among other reasons, to be clear, he cites like lots of other small things, but this was the kind of big point of the video that he made, was that it's gotten very parasocial, and people have even gotten to the extent of like sexually harassing him.
I mean, I think a lot of people misunderstand what it means to be parasocial. I think a lot of people see, parasocial is like, you're too far on the positive end. You're acting like I'm your close friend. You're acting like I'm your boyfriend. You're acting like we really know each other. But on the flip, there's actually a negative side of parasocial relationships too. You're acting like you hate me, but you don't know me. You're insulting me, but we don't know each other. Like that type of hate is also parasocial, because how do you build up so much vitriol for a person you've never met?
Yeah, and in his case, it's interesting because most of it, he actually talks a little bit about that in his video, how like there's a sect of people who hate him. They love to see, they're preying on his downfall. They love to see him get eliminated from a tournament early or whatever. But also that there are people who, they like him, but I guess like in the creepy internet way where it's like, you get a photo op with this famous person, and then like during the photo op, you try something, and that he said that's like what's been happening. And it's really interesting.
Everybody, not everybody, but people have like tried to say that, oh, you got Team APS, you guys are famous. I don't think we've been famous. I don't think we're famous because ain't nobody ever tried to grope me.
Yeah, I'm not famous enough to have gotten groped yet.
We're not groping famous. Like maybe one day we will be, but like definitely not today.
The player says he's had to deal with fans groping him during pictures and pushing boundaries like touching him without consent. He says this meant leaving this year's Worlds tournament early because he wasn't able to watch the event in peace after he'd been eliminated, and the stress he feels from these events has now started to outweigh the enjoyment of competing in the tournaments themselves. He says the fan interactions have begun overtaking his private time at the shows, and in some cases prevented him from getting to his matches on time. And he says that he didn't want to make a video for this year's Worlds tournament because it would make him relive the event and all the bad memories that he associated with it. So he says he's going to be taking some time off from in-person events, which will likely affect whether or not he qualifies for the 2026 World Championship. So, he says, like, even if I do qualify for the World Championship, it's likely that I won't attend. It's going to depend on how the rest of the season, how the rest of these events go. But what I will say is that I do not want to have another Worlds like this one I just had. I would rather not attend than take that risk because I think that if I don't attend Worlds, there's a chance I could come back in the future. I think if I have one more Worlds like this one was, I don't think I'll ever come back.
It was that bad?
It sounds like it was.
Golly, he sounded like he went to TwitchCon.
Yeah. It is interesting that this is, coming off the heels of what we heard from, things at TwitchCon. It just, the two events are technically unrelated, I suppose, but they're related in the sense that, like...
parasocial interactions making people act on their worst impulses.
Yeah. He also talked about how he feels like he's become more of a symbol and less of a person. Like when he goes into... If you go into, like, chats on live streams for, like, Pokemon tournaments, all people in the chat will be asking is, like, where's Wolf? Where's Wolf? Where's Wolf? Like, is he on stream? When's he going to be on stream? Is he eliminated? How's he doing? And like, that's mostly coming from a good place, right? Like, oh, I want to see like how he's playing. I've seen his videos. I like him. But also he was kind of upset that like the person who won Worlds this year, that player Giovanni, like was not like people saw Giovanni that he won and they were just like, oh, well, like he only won because like Wolf helped him because it was kind of known they'd been working together to like prepare for Worlds. And so that kind of discredited that guy's win because like people are just saying like, oh, well, you only won because of Wolf or like
what got the Wolfie stimulus
where was
package.
Wolfie at the tournament? Like people just don't care about the winner. They only care about like how Wolfie did. And so that's something that he said he didn't like. He just says that he's had a lot of this dehumanizing experiences and he ends by saying, like, I wish there was more of me to give. I really have tried so hard to be the person people see me as. But I think that I'm only human and pretending that I'm not is not doing me or you any favors.
Now it's time to go down the right-wing podcast pipeline.
Yeah, that's only if you get canceled.
That's true. He's not canceled.
Yeah, he's not getting canceled. He's just taking care of his mental health. No, but it's unfortunate. I really hate it. I obviously... Yeah, what do you think?
I'm always just impressed that he can be a YouTuber at the level that he is and maintain a very, very competitive lifestyle within the Pokemon VGC space.
It's difficult, I'd imagine.
And I guess I'm not too surprised that it eventually got to him. But it got to him in a way I wasn't expecting. Mm-hmm. I didn't think the behavior at these events was going to be the trigger. Mm-hmm. I thought maybe it'll be the stress of just keeping up a YouTube channel while also trying to compete at the highest levels. I thought that would be a breaking point, but it turns out it sounds like it's a lot of it's just bad behavior, just adding even more stress to what has to be a stressful lifestyle.
Yeah, and I don't want to like make this about me in any way. I'm nowhere near as popular.
Let's follow this with some I statements.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that in my opinion, no. We've been to events though, where like we've been there in groups or sometimes individually or whatever, and like I've gotten fan interactions that have ranged from quite pleasant to maybe like a little awkward.
There's some weirdos out there.
Some people kind of can be excessive or a little weird, but I think
we did get that one hug.
Yeah, there've been a few.
I got that definitely like unwanted hug.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think that we really are seeing more and more so how the effects of like this internet age where people are truly engaging like with content as though these people are like their friends. And you know, it's so weird to say because it sounds like you're being mean when you say like I'm not your friend. Like you know, you might watch these videos or listen to these things, but like I'm not your friend. But the honest truth is,
don't listen to Paul, guys. We are your friends. You can be as parasocial as you want with us.
Yeah, you can even join a channel membership today. No, but you know, like I think when I look at it though, that's the only real explanation is just like, yeah, your favorite content creator can't actually be your friend because they don't know you. And so like, you know, to take it to the extent of like groping and what's weird about the groping thing too is like some people might not even know that that's like they might see him as such a relatable person or something that they might do that. Maybe they see him as a love interest.
Nah.
Well, no, I think
unacceptable.
I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying that like that's the problem that like I think is happening now is like people are falling in love, and not even necessarily romantic love. It could be any type of love with what they see on a screen, and then assuming then that when the opportunity comes to see that person IRL, that you can just make whatever move, like the emiru situation, which we're going to get an update on that, by the way, in a second.
Oh, there's more?
Well, there's been a response from Twitch, a more formal one.
I think I say, yeah, the guy responded, and he wants her to take responsibility.
Yeah, but yeah, that's my whole thing. Is just like you just have to kind of. I don't know what we're gonna be able to do about making people realize that the person they see on the live stream or the video, you know,
that's a real person that you do not know. You are a fan, and oftentimes a YouTuber, an influencer is ready to meet you at the fan level, but not necessarily the friend level. So shout outs to the guys who have the balls to like ask their favorite like influencers and stuff. Yeah, y'all want to hang out sometime? We're doing this after the event. Y'all got some crazy confidence.
Yeah, we've been asked that.
Because I'm telling you, nobody's gonna say yes to that. Yeah, it is not that you're a bad person.
There's too much at stake.
They don't know you.
They don't know you, and there's too much at stake. Like if you're an influencer, it's kind of funny that I mean, I guess it's always been this way, but like, you know, like how Keanu Reeves and stuff is like kind of famous for like his fan pictures. He like never actually like touches fans. It's like his hand's on your shoulder in the picture, and it's literally like this. Like he's like just hovering. He doesn't actually touch fans in the pictures because like, you know, there are lots of instances where somebody might say like, oh, you can see like he groped her in this picture or whatever.
He just keeps a respectful distance.
He keeps a respectful distance. It's interesting because I guess some people might expect like, oh, the famous person was, you know, manipulating their fans or taking advantage of their fans. But in many cases, it's like the other way around. Like it's in some of these instances, like what he's experiencing. I mean, like,
that's what that, you know, keeping a distance from like fans it's actually in both parties' best interests. You don't actually want to think you're better friends with an influencer than you are, and they don't want you to think that either.
Well, anywho, speaking of parasocial incidents.
What is this image? Why did they
failed.
Do this?
Twitch CEO responds to emiru TwitchCon assault. So, yeah, this is the CEO of Twitch, Dan Clancy, and he apologized for the failings that led to the emiru assault during TwitchCon 2025. We talked about this last week. Basically, she was doing a meet and greet. A fan or hater or something was able to quickly walk up on her, grab her, try to like force her into a kiss, and then her security guard,
he shoved him away.
Shoved him away, but also like the guy didn't really take proper punishment. The Twitch security didn't seem to be very concerned about it. She was very outspoken about how this experience was really awful for her and that they did not seem to take security and stuff very seriously at TwitchCon. Well, anywho, here's what the CEO has to say.
This is a tweet?
It's a long tweet. I'm going to paraphrase a little bit. That is a long tweet.
Golly.
First, I want to be upfront and take accountability for the security incident that occurred during emiru's meet and greet. It shouldn't have happened, and we take that very seriously. We failed both in allowing it to occur and in our response following. I apologize to emiru for all that took place. What are we doing moving forward? For meet and greets, we've begun a complete analysis of the incident and other issues that came to our attention after TwitchCon concluded. So we're going to examine everything from how we do signups to the layouts to increase security controls. We're also doing a comprehensive review of overall event security and safety, and we'll be making updates for future TwitchCons. Obviously, we're not going to share everything because that's safety reasons. We've heard concerns about IRL streaming at TwitchCon. Twitch has, because that's the separate thing that everybody was talking about,
Right.
was just these IRL streamers running around like with their
Trying to make a moment of everything.
just clip farming, and like you're trying to buy something at a booth, and they're like, "Whoa, credit card number, whoa, phone number," whatever on the screen. So anyway, Twitch has evolved over the years, and IRL streaming is a part of Twitch. But we need to ensure that TwitchCon meets the needs of a variety of participants. We'll be reviewing how we handle IRL streaming at TwitchCon, and we'll have more to share soon. Finally, we got clear feedback on accessibility across the event. We're reviewing that with our teams. So that's just for like, maybe handicap people, or maybe people who have some other like kind of mobility issue. You put a lot of trust in us by attending TwitchCon, and we take our responsibility to keep you safe very seriously. Be on the lookout for more updates. Thanks for being a part of Twitch. Dan Clancy. So how do you feel about that statement? I mean, he took some accountability. He says they're going to be doing more.
I mean, that's called the absolute bare minimum. Essentially, he had to say that if he was going to respond at all, he said what he needed to say. But words don't actually mean anything. Like, they got through this TwitchCon, and there won't be another TwitchCon until like this time next year. Mm-hmm. Actions speak louder than words. What remedies they will offer to emiru themselves in the meantime, I think that's going to say a lot about like how they handle remedying like her grievances will actually speak more to me than that tweet does, because anybody can make a good apology tweet. A lot of times they don't. A lot of times they put out terrible apology tweets, but technically anyone can make this tweet.
So here's some irony. He actually said about a month or so back that they were going to be taking security very seriously, or in his words, extremely seriously, after Valkyrae and QT Cinderella, those are two really famous female streamers, said that they were considering skipping next month's TwitchCon due to safety concerns. Because those two have been the target of a lot of different harassment campaigns. I think we did a story about them in the podcast. Like,
the name Valkyrae sounds familiar. QT Cinderella does not, but
yeah.
They probably came up.
Yeah, they was it the streamer games? They've done like one of those like kind of large, like in real life like events, like like Ludwig's like chess boxing, like things like that. Yeah, they oftentimes do those, and like they've had some bad fan interactions in the past, and so they'd said that they were considering skipping it. And when that came up, Dan Clancy said that the platform takes security very seriously. And now this TwitchCon that they were referring to happened, and security seemingly was not
what
taken
did I
terribly
just say
seriously.
about words?
So yeah, it's really just going to come down to like, are they going to actually do anything better? I don't want to. I'm not a Twitch streamer. I'll be honest. Like,
what?
Yeah, surprise, surprise.
This isn't Twitch. We're not on Twitch right now.
But also, like, I don't even use the platform all that much. So my opinion maybe doesn't even mean that much. Like, I don't know what the culture of Twitch is today.
I think it's grabbing girls and kissing them in public.
But I do think that coming off the heels of the whole like wolfeyvgc thing, streaming takes that even a step further, where like these live streams where you kind of get to like look at this person, oftentimes like a woman or something, on screen, and like if you pay money and donate, like she'll read it out, and like you can get her attention transactionally.
Why do I feel attacked?
Yeah. Oh, that's Alex on the streams every night.
I mean, look, if I'm going to watch a live stream.
Yeah, and so I think that people see that, and it only fuels some of the parasocial. That's my view of it anyway.
Yeah, I think when I was like young, like 18, 19, such thing. I remember struggling with parasocial relationships with online figures. You could watch every single one of someone's YouTube video, or watch their entire Twitch stream, and
yeah,
dealing with the fact that it actually didn't mean anything. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't really accustomed to the internet. I didn't realize how distant the relationships really are, despite the fact that, but when I send money, like I'm sending you my real money to you pretty much instantly, but we're not friends, we're not buddies, we're not family, we're actually nothing. I do think there's a bit of a disconnect, especially when it comes to live streaming, where streamers do kind of put on for the parasocial relationship. They take a real thing from you in your subs and your money, and then but then you're reminded, but we are not actually friends. We don't really know each other.
Okay. So you're sort of almost talking about how like, because I don't think that you're like defending the behavior, but I get what you're saying.
And I'm not saying it's the live streamer's fault. It's like streaming culture. It's a kind of a necessary evil. If I'm parting with something as real and as close to me as my money, but
people feel as though that entitles them to maybe,
because like the money I'm losing is real.
Yeah, so you want something, and then in exchange.
You'll read out the message. You'll say like the username. I feel like at that point it's hard not to feel like it's real.
Like there's an attachment.
And
I know what you mean.
I think that's like one of the biggest issues with streaming. With YouTubing, it's a lot harder to form that connection because
YouTube isn't as upfront about like donate to me.
Like you leave a comment and then the YouTuber might get to that comment in days, weeks, months.
I think that it's funny. Just to kind of quickly refer back to the wolfeyvgc thing, he actually said that he's not going to be doing live streams anymore either, of even like just his online tournament runs, because he was finding that like even just the nature of the live stream it felt maybe too, I don't want to put words in his mouth, I don't remember exactly how he described it, but just that it was not helping that relationship. And like, and this is related, I guess. It's just that like when I think of like, Valkyrae, QT Cinderella, emiru, they're also women.
I want to look up who they are.
Yeah, they're also women. And so that means that in addition to like kind of rabid fans who like them for that reason, have a crush on them, want them to be their girlfriend or whatever, there's also people who hate women in the online space. And
is this Valkyrae or is this...
That's Valkyrae, yeah.
Are we sure?
Mm-hmm.
Because I could swear this is...
Maybe she looks similar to someone you've seen.
Is it? Wait. Maybe I'm getting my streamer like girls mixed up.
Oh yeah, she looks similar to Cinna.
Okay, they are different people. All right, that's had to be sure.
But yeah, like I know, like with sometimes people kind of view these girls as attack targets because they, people don't like girls in gaming or whatever. There's so many. I don't want to like pin it on any one thing because there's so many different relationships that people have with these streamers that's almost what makes it more dangerous, is that you don't know whether the person running up to you intends to like harm you or if they're like a fan,
stab you, kiss you.
Yeah, there's so many things.
Like take a picture of or with you. Yeah, you just don't know. It's kind of nice being a YouTuber where there is more of an understood distance.
I like being a YouTuber because like it's very I sound like I'm on a little sponsored ad campaign. I like being a YouTuber because send me my paycheck.
I like YouTube.
No, but I do think that it is nice that like as far as videos are concerned, it's like a start recording, stop recording, and we package it.
Yeah.
We give you a defined like end product that begins and ends with the video player. It's not like live and so.
Because guys, we're your friends, but we're not your friends, and deep down, and that. I think it's harder with live streams because it's almost like you hang out for hours, like your real life hours. We shoot this podcast on a Wednesday. It comes out on a Thursday.
That alone creates a distance.
Yeah.
Whereas like imagine if we were like doing this like live and like we're taking viewer questions and so I would like to maybe do like one live podcast one day for sure. But
I think, live streaming is cool and especially fun to mix in. And we've talked about doing a live podcast before, but it would not be our primary content style.
I wanted to talk a little bit briefly about how Microsoft's CEO says that Xbox's competition is not other gaming platforms, it's TikTok.
I feel like I've heard this story before.
Yeah. So, over the last couple of weeks, Microsoft's been under a lot of fire for the changes and stuff that they've made around the Xbox brand and leadership and stuff. So, Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella echoed those same comments and said that basically he thinks that the next Xbox, everybody's saying it'll probably be like essentially a PC, and they're trying to make like Xbox Game Pass be something that you can play on a lot of different platforms. Where's his actual quote? I need to find it because this is like a really long article.
Is that it? No,
Yeah, okay. Most importantly, the game business model has to be where we have to invent maybe some new interactive media as well, because after all, gaming's competition is not other gaming. Gaming's competition is short form video. So yeah, he's just kind of describing the fact that like just selling maybe a game console alone isn't enough because people engage with so many different things today, particularly on their smartphones, that like if you're, in his view, developing a game console, you need to find more ways to engage people and on more platforms, more places.
I mean, it's a rather simple thing, and I think we talked about it on the pod before, that when you are deciding whether or not you'll play this new like Xbox that you have, it's not that it's not just competing with your PlayStation or your PC. It's also competing with all the other ways you like to fill your time. We all know somebody, and maybe are somebody, who spends an obscene amount of hours on TikTok every day, just kind of mindlessly scrolling.
Yeah.
What you don't know is that's directly competing with Xbox and PlayStation. It's time. They want your time, and that means they don't get to limit their scope to just fighting against Sony or Nintendo. It's TikTok, it's Facebook, it's Twitch, it's YouTube.
It's Netflix. Yeah. Once upon a time, I think that the situation was different. I think that once upon a time, Microsoft really did only have to worry about other game consoles. Like gamers bought these things and they were gaming, right? Like they were mostly just, the truth would be, yeah, if I'm not playing my Xbox, I'm playing my PlayStation or vice versa. Now, though, you're right. Like people, they watch TikTok, and more specifically, we've talked about this, I think, on the pod before of like, there are a lot of times like there's games in your backlog that you want to finish. Mm-hmm. And there are like games you may want to buy and stuff like that, or just things you want to do. And how often do you technically have like a free block of a couple hours even of free time? These rare kind of, but like, some of that just goes into Instagram Reels or like Facebook Reels or YouTube Shorts. And, you kind of regret that maybe later. Like, oh man, I'm never going to get to this game because I just have so much other stuff to do. But like other stuff to do does mean TikTok scrolling or whatever. And so I agree with him on this statement that like you do have to plan for more than just one or two other game companies. You have to kind of find ways to meet people where they're at. Like, there's so many screens in our damn lives now, right? Like, here's 2 screens in front of us.
And there's 3 in front of us over there.
And then there's, like, cameras, which are technically going to be someone else's screen. We've got phones, we've got TVs, laptops. Like, there's so many things kind of vying for your attention. And now, on every platform, they're all available. Netflix has an app on your Xbox and an app on your PlayStation. So does, like, Paramount and Hulu and Disney and all these things. And so, like, even on the console that you bought for gaming, you still might not game. Like, it's,
facts.
You turn it on and you're using it to get to Crunchyroll. So, yeah. So that was kind of an interesting one. I know a lot of people are talking about, like, what Xbox should be doing, and I have no clue what that answer is, but I just thought that was
Let's become the CEO and make the decision.
That's right. I'll do that. I'll be the CEO next week, in fact. Just so you know. All right, you got anything?
Let's see. Anime. So, Chainsaw Man, the movie, reze arc, jumps to $100 million at the worldwide box office. Round of applause.
Woo!
I only have the one hand.
You can't actually do that. Yeah, we saw this movie.
Yes. I made it my personal mission to make sure that we saw it as soon as humanly possible. I'm actually a big Chainsaw Man fan. Not like everyone else, but different. No, it's pretty much the same. I read the manga, really enjoyed it. Watched the anime, mildly enjoyed it. And then I told my friends who were kind of so-so on it, I said, guys, if this does not make you like Chainsaw Man, nothing will. If they mess this up, then there's no point. Like I felt like the Reze arc was the first time I actually really liked the Chainsaw Man manga, and so I really wanted to see it animated and on a big screen. And at least as far as I'm concerned, it didn't disappoint.
Yeah, I liked it as well. I've also watched, Chainsaw Man, just the season 1. I have not read the manga or anything, but I've watched season 1, and I thought it was good. My only gripes with the season were that, like, I sort of felt as though it needed more episodes, like to get to know the characters a bit more, and like kind of because it was only 12, which is a big shock. I know, like, shonen anime typically they'll kind of try to get like 24 in their first season if it's going to be like one of the big kind of next big shonen type shows, and it only got 12, and I did kind of leave feeling like I'm interested, but I feel like I'm not like invested. And this movie helped to solve a lot of that for me because it was a very like kind of emotional bit of like character, sort of a character arc for what is the main character's name? Yeah, Denji. And also, like, I don't know, I think like Reze was a very interesting villain, we'll call her.
They're like the femme fatales of Chainsaw Man. They do a fairly good job with them, but I do feel that in the first season, like, we really didn't get that. I mean, Makima's creepy as hell, but she wasn't actively working against them as a true villain. But here we are in this movie. We have a charismatic and interesting villain that has to be. I mean, she has to get defeated, and Denji's not in a hurry to do it. He doesn't really want to, and as a viewer, you're not even sure if you really want them to be fighting because you spend. I mean, I guess it's spoiler territory. So I guess I'll slow
down. I'll say. Yeah, Alex was going. No, I mean, like, all I will say about that is that it is I think it's a rewarding movie. I know it's done really well. I know, like, obviously not like Demon Slayer numbers, but I enjoyed both movies. I have a hot take.
What's that?
I think that this movie is a little bit better paced than the Demon Slayer movie. That Demon Slayer movie was long. Like, Infinity Castle arc is great. It's amazing.
Not a movie,
but it's not. I think it is not like suited to a movie. I think that it ran for too long.
It was literally not a movie.
And yeah, and you can kind of almost see the seams of where like would have just been split up into episodes. I think that the Chainsaw Man movie, while not like perfect, it starts a bit maybe too slow for some shonen fans' liking. But for me, I didn't have a problem with that. I just thought that the fact that the movie was like an hour 40, as opposed to like Demon Slayer's like two and a half or something like that. Like, yeah, like I think that a movie kind of it's okay for a movie to be less than 2 hours. So
yeah, I mean, with the this movie, I found it to be purposeful. The Demon Slayer movie, it felt like they just made their episodes like normal and just cut out the transitions and the openings and endings.
Yeah, which, not to make this like a Demon Slayer discussion, but like I do think that the way that the Infinity Castle arc works just isn't like, it just doesn't feel like there was like in that movie, at least in particular in this part 1, that like, there was like a beginning, middle, and end. Like there wasn't one. It was just kind of like they're in here. And by the end of the movie, they're still in here. Like, and it's I don't know. Whereas like with the Chainsaw Man movie, it's like, okay, Denji kind of like starts in one place and ends in another. Like, so I don't know. Congrats to them. How's the box office numbers doing? I know it's done pretty well.
So let's see. It says in Japan, it made 7.17 billion yen. That's approximately $46.89 million.
Yeah.
And as the film enters its second month with 4.69 million tickets sold, it's currently the 4th highest grossing film of the year in Japan.
Yeah, and I know Japan's had it for about 2 months now.
Yeah, so they had it for a little while now. It took everything I had not to like try to watch it early, but I held back.
It opened at number 1 in North America, making an estimated 17.25 million over 3,003 locations. The day-to-day breakdowns include 8.5 on Friday, 5.25 on Saturday, 3.5 on Sunday.
Oh wait, how did we get factored in? We watched it on a Thursday.
That is weird. I guess that counts as Friday.
I guess so.
South Korea got a bunch. The main headline is that it jumps to 100 million worldwide.
Yeah.
in total amounts of box office sales.
That's pretty good for an anime movie. It feels like anime movies are certainly on their way up now.
Mm-hmm. You were saying, what were you saying earlier?
So a lot of anime movies have done really well, but so far it's been movies attached to these large IPs that are already like very well known. I'm curious if we can see an original anime movie do the same type of numbers, because we've had them, but they weren't doing like numbers. There's a movie coming out in November, Virgin Punk. I know about it because they kept advertising the absolute hell out of it at New York Comic Con. But Virgin Punk comes out in early November, and I'm curious if do we just really love Chainsaw Man and Demon Slayer, or are we just showing up for anime movies now? Will we just get off our butts and then sit back on them again, but for anime movies? Because we're not going out for Marvel movies the way we used to. We're skipping like rom-coms and other types of movies to the point where they're going directly to streaming nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think? Have you felt that there's been a shift? Because I think there has. It feels like things are changing, and that's why I really want to see if people go out to see Virgin Punk. Because like, is it anime's time? Are we mobilizing for anime? Yeah, I mean, I think like I've noticed that it's and this is anecdotal, of course, but I've gotten the impression that like going out to see anime movies has kind of become a bit of a pastime for nerds. Like a lot of us who I sound like such a like, those of us who were nerds back in the high school, or but like for people who've liked anime for a long time and not really been able to like in many cases go see these things in theaters, I think are jumping at the opportunity to. Mm-hmm. But also like anime has become so broad and so normalized that like you could see the Demon Slayer movie in the same vein as a Marvel movie or something, where like this is something that you go to watch like with friends, you make plans for it. Even a few members of the friend group who don't even watch the thing might still just be like persuaded to join in because it's like, well, it's still just a big event. You'll like this. So that's how I felt about it. I've seen the last few major like shonen anime movies, and I've also seen a few like I saw like The Boy and the Heron.
The Boy and the
that was a
Heron.
good one. I've seen a few like other like offbeat anime movies. I wanted to see the Spy Family one. I ended up missing that, but like. Yeah, I don't know. It feels like it's on the ups. Like it feels good. Anywho, congrats to Chainsaw Man, and I think that brings us into the pot segment of the podcast.
All right, we asking questions. No, we're answering questions.
Yeah, so I asked you guys actually to leave us a few spooky questions as well this week, and what
does that mean?
Yeah, so while we have some of the normal questions, we also have a few spooky ones. But first, let me see if I can find the regular stuff that like people asked, because I think they had some good ones. Okay, so here's the first one. Let me make sure it's the right one. Okay, this is a quick Yu-Gi-Oh one. Nothing too crazy.
Okay.
I'm Mason P. I've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh
since
09 semi-competitively and competitively 2020-ish. I think is what he means. Question: do you think tournaments should give a runner-up an invite to a big event if the top tables already have one, or that player can give up the invite if they already have one? For example, top 32 gets invites at a regional. However, 5 people already have one, so then those 5 invites only go to the 33rd to 37th place players.
So we actually didn't we used to do that in Yu-Gi-Oh? We used to bump down invites.
There was a period of time where I vaguely remember this being the case. I don't know.
Because I specifically remember when it changed.
Yeah, I don't know entirely when it changed, but I remember it was like kind of just a thing, and then it wasn't.
I just remember people making videos about how they changed the way invites work, and now a person, even if you already have your invite, you just get a second one that goes to nothing.
What do you think about the roll down of like invites? Should they be like rolling over to?
It's hard for me to say because I'll never be there.
No, that's fine. You don't have to. I mean, because
it's weird. Like, I feel like the people who deserve to get invites are going to get them one way or another. Whether or not they got rolled to them or they just earned them in those top spots,
Yeah.
Like, but like someone like me who's perennially at the bottom, like, I feel like the people who are gonna get them are gonna get them. I don't know what to say.
So yeah, as somebody who, I've had kind of some history in competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! And now I've been going to regionals again in the last couple months. You've gotten a few invites. Yeah, I've gotten a few invites.
Have you ever had a roll down invite?
I don't know. I don't know if it was a roll down. I don't remember. But I'll say this. I don't think they should roll down. I actually think that like Yu-Gi-Oh! Is such a goddamn hard game that you just gotta earn it. I think like if you do roll downs, then there's some room for like manipulation and stuff. Like if you're kind of in a friend circle of good players and like a lot of the good players have already gotten their invites, then it kind of just means like so in this example, it's like, okay, top 32 get invites, 5 people already have them. What if top 32 gets invites and like 24 people already have them? Woo. So are we gonna like roll like 24? So now we're going from like 33rd to like 40 something or 50 somethingth place is getting invites. It's like, at what point does that maybe start to devalue
it's a little silly, huh?
Yeah, like and then if all those people, because now a bunch more people have invites and they all still go to regionals over the next few weeks, eventually you might actually hit a point where just all of top 32, like, you know what I mean? Just imagine like everyone already has them. I finished
64th and I got my invite.
But to put a more like serious, I think, point on it, and like I'm not trying to maybe sound like it's like an uppity thing, but so like if you get top X at this regional, you will get an invite, right? Mm-hmm. So Alec goes to this regional, or I go to this regional, and they tell me, okay, like there's 300 players playing. They're going to be 32 invites handed out. Good luck, everybody. May the best man win, right? Play. And I get 37th, then I didn't get top 32. So I don't get an invite. Like, it's not for, like, the stipulation that was said when you went to the tournament was that top 32 would get an invite. You did not get in the top 32, so you do not get an invite. I think it's just kind of as simple as that. Maybe I'm too much of like a hard ass with like competition and stuff, but I just think like if the parameters have been set, then they should just stay that way. Like if you got 37th place, I think that it's difficult to wrestle with, like especially if you got like 33rd. Like that sucks.
Oof.
But that's your motivation to like
get 32nd.
Yeah, get 32nd next time. Like, you have to do it. I don't think that that's like Yu-Gi-Oh! Is just so hard. Like, I've kind of been coming around to this more lately as I've been playing these regionals again with modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, the skill floor is so high. Like, everybody knows how to play around hand traps. Everybody knows how, like, a lot of phases and rulings and stuff works. Like, the barrier to entry is technically lower than it's ever been, but also, like, higher because it's lower. And so, you have to get everything right. You have to prepare so much, know your matchup so well, know your situations, execute, like, technical play, all these things that like, if you, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of like the idea of it rolling down, particularly because what it would look like at the end of a season. Like where, the example I'm giving, so like if you go play at a regional when the season first starts, like right after Nats, then like, you have to really fight for these invites. But now if it's like, oh, it's the very end of the season before the next Nats, and everybody and their moms got their invites already, is it just like no competition at all?
So we rolled down the invites to 103rd place because, well, everyone between first and 102nd all had invites.
So maybe that might come across as harsh or something, but I think that, it's competition for a reason, right? Like it's a tournament.
It's not supposed to be easy.
It's really not. It's not supposed to be easy. Okay, this one's for you, Alec.
Oh, okay.
Long-time listener of the pod. With that said, I've heard Alec tiptoe around WWE, and I've come to the conclusion that he's a fan. My question is, who are your favorite wrestlers or memories of professional wrestling? Keep up the great work. This is from Peter.
All right. So I'm a pretty, I guess I'm a pretty basic wrestling fan. And like when I mention my favorite wrestlers, you'll know immediately my era. My favorite wrestlers are Rey Mysterio and Edge. For those you know exactly the time period I did the majority of my watching of wrestling. Oh, what was I gonna say? I forgot. Oh, so my favorite wrestling memory, and I have a few because my aunt was a very big wrestling fan when I was very, very young. So all the way from WCW, we were watching wrestling pretty much every single week. But my favorite memory is one morning, our mom wakes us up, me and my brother. We get woken up in the middle of the night, and she hands us her phone, and it's our dad on the other side. And my dad's just like, "Hey, so I'm here with Jeff Hardy," and we're like, "Huh?" And we're like barely awake and not really understanding what's happening. Because yeah, I'm here with Jeff Hardy, and he wants to talk to you guys. And he just puts Jeff Hardy on the phone. And I remember this because literally the night before we'd watched SmackDown, which was in New Orleans, and I believe he either won or defended his belt in that episode. And I knew Alex was a bigger like Jeff and Matt Hardy fan than I was, so I handed him the phone. And Alex could have said anything. And he said, "Hi," and kind of froze up.
I mean, that's how it is being a fan sometimes.
How
old were you?
Oh man, we couldn't have been that. We couldn't have been very old. I don't even remember.
10, 12 maybe? Like
we couldn't. I know we weren't like 16 and up.
Okay.
And I know we weren't like 8 and lower. I guess if I go back and look at wrestling stats and find out when Jeff won his belt.
My question is, what would you have said if you got the phone?
So I immediately crashed out on Alex because of it, and I remember like
you got mad.
I was upset with him because like he could have said anything and he kind of just said nothing. I'm like, you should have congratulated him on his win. Like we just saw him on TV. But he was also groggy and
your defense. It's
it was a lot all at once, and it was on speakerphone, so I felt like I was in that moment too. So I didn't speak to Jeff Hardy myself, but I kind of still felt like I did.
Felt as though you did. I mean, you were on the phone with them. It's something.
And that was just kind of one of my experiences with like the WWE, because my dad, he worked at the airport. He did security there. So people were always coming in and out, different celebrities. But when they started holding like SmackDown would come to New Orleans, and then WrestleMania started coming to New Orleans. And I remember when I think it was me, Alex, and then 2 of our friends, we got tickets to WrestleMania one year. And no, it wasn't WrestleMania. It was an episode of SmackDown. I do remember that because we wanted WrestleMania tickets and that didn't work out. But we did go to SmackDown one year, and I think we took off from school because you didn't have to, but we did. And our dad had no qualms about taking us out of school for something cool. He had absolutely no problem with that. And I think we took off from school and we went to watch Friday Night SmackDown in the Superdome. Or was that the arena? I forget which one it was, but it was a crazy experience. The building was so loud, lights everywhere, merch. I didn't realize how crazy WWE fans were until I actually put myself in that environment. Paul, because we did the
we went to was that a WWE or an AEW?
It was a WWE show.
Yeah, we went to one with Larry, and that was really fun.
And it was like that, but like times like 3.
Yeah,
just
it's very
ravenous
very
fan
cool.
base.
Yeah, people get into those. I remember when we went to that. My biggest takeaway was just like, those wrestlers, they really like put on a performance because like it's very it feels like just a lot of exertion, a lot of professionalism. Like, I don't know. I thought it was, and this is from somebody like I didn't really have a history with wrestling. My sister liked wrestling more than me. But like, yeah, I thought it was cool. I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah, but also I like all the wrestlers from that era. Kane, The Undertaker, Batista. Just of course, John.
I remember
Cena.
The Undertaker. And John Cena.
Like
kind of household names.
I loved all those guys. He bought multiple copies of SmackDown versus Raw on the PlayStation 2.
All right, guys. It's also Halloween tomorrow when you guys hear this, so we have a few spooky questions that viewers have submitted for us.
Why do I feel like these aren't going to be spooky?
There are a variety of spooky questions. You can interpret it a few different ways. Hey, Paul and Alex, this is from Mecha Dragon 101.
What up, Mecha Dragon?
Very long-time follower. I see them a lot on Twitter. Here's my spooky question. I want you to both try and think up a card each that's so broken and powerful that it's scary. So I don't know if you mean like we have to make up the card effect ourselves or we just think of an existing card that is, because I can think of a few existing cards that terrify me. Max C, I think, instills a lot of fear in most people. A lot of people hate it. But for me personally, a card that I actually really do not like seeing, that always like actually gives me chills, is like Red Reboot. That card is so like when people, it's only in Master Duel right now, but like when people resolve Red Reboot on you, oh god, it sucks. It's just like it's a counter trap from hand, and then it's just like you can't use anything. So usually if you get Red Rebooted, like that's just that. Like this one lights out.
This one's not too relevant today, but at one point I couldn't think of a spookier card than Evenly Matched.
Yeah, Evenly it's a terrifying one too. It instilled a lot of fear.
It's like ending battle phase. Hated that phrase.
Yeah, I mean it's actually kind of similar to like End of Main with Nibiru, where you kind of have to be a little scared. I think that they ruled at some point that you can't count summons aloud anymore.
Oh, I do remember something along those lines. Like, yeah, audibly counting summons.
Yeah, it's something
like
about misrepresenting
your like
intention to do things or game state
intentionally
or
misleading
like
your opponents, make them think you have Nibiru when you don't, and like they can't know what your intention is, so they went ahead and said no audible counting.
Yeah, I think it's kind of interesting because like there are so many cards that walk that line, but I get why you would draw the line at like counting aloud, because counting aloud is not a game mechanic. Whereas like the example I always give is like IP Masquerena. Like if you have IP Masquerena and I just like summon a monster and choose to in my main phase to kind of force you to maybe like use the effect, it's like a bait, whatever. But like I'm still not doing anything that's like outside of game mechanics, whereas I guess counting is.
Because you might argue, well, they should always play as if I have Nibiru in hand. Yeah, but if you're literally not running Nibiru, but you're still counting anyway.
Yeah, so it's just sort of a misrepresentation thing. The next Halloween creepy question is, what would need to be on the line for you to participate in a shadow duel? Or one of those duels where the floor gives out, or there's booby traps, etc., like in Duel Monsters. This is from Thaddeus Russell.
Oh, that's easy for me.
Yeah, what would need to be on the line?
Like, my brother's soul.
Okay. How much money? Is there a price?
What money? I don't get it.
Like, would you do a shadow duel if you could win $1 million?
No.
10 million?
No.
$1 billion? You would just never do a shadow duel? Okay.
No.
Why not?
Because I'm gambling with my life for money. Mm-hmm. If money will come, maybe not the same amount of money, but as long as I'm alive, I can make money.
Yeah.
But I can't if I'm dead. So what the gamble truly is, it's get $10 million or die forever. It's done.
Yeah.
It's like, I'd rather just live and maybe I'll make a few thousand. Maybe one day I'll scratch $1 million, but I can't do that if I'm dead.
Yeah, but I guess the idea though is like, you're a good duelist. You're not going to lose a shadow game.
Yes, I will.
Like you're a protagonist.
Well, could you imagine you sign up for this shadow game because you think you're a pretty good duelist, and then like Jesse Cotton pulls up in front of you and he's got full power tier.
I think that I would have to know the stipulations. Like I would need to know like who am I facing? Like what are like. Are we doing like an anime duel, or are we doing like, okay, we're playing meta and they're just like playing, Mitsurugi something?
In the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! Does someone get a full briefing before they accepted a shadow duel?
They don't. That's true. But still, there is context given.
Like did Yugi consent to Arcana's like blades that were going to cut him at the leg?
Actually, yes.
Did he consent to that?
Yeah, there's like he pretty much just says like, oh, yeah, like, okay. He does. Now, there are some where like it's kind of a mix. Like when Yugi and Kaiba duel on the tower that's going to like crumble down or whatever into the shadow realm, but really just death. They were technically given the choice about whether or not to show up there and duel. Now they'd already kidnapped their friends, so they would have had to find some alternative way of rescuing like Taya and Mokuba. But they did give them a choice.
But were they told that, hey, if you take this duel, we will there's a good chance we're gonna blow up the building from underneath you and you'll die?
Well, they say at the beginning, but I guess they've already committed to the duel by then.
Yeah.
So it's.
I mean, shadow games, they're not really meant to be fair. Like, you don't always know the stakes before you take them. Even in the manga, when Yugi would have you play these games with him, he actually didn't tell you what the punishment would be for losing before you started playing. But for some reason, people would just play anyway.
Yeah. So for me, like, I mean, I think I would maybe do a shadow duel for like. I feel like there's some price I would maybe do it for. I don't know. I think like if it comes down to like saving someone's life, then I guess I just would have to. Like I don't think I would
anybody's
mind that.
life. That's crazy.
Well,
I wouldn't do it if it's anybody.
Yeah, maybe not just anybody. All right, here is got two more. What are your picks for the scariest Yu-Gi-Oh card artwork of all time? I'm talking about a card that you maybe saw in a friend's binder as a kid that sent shivers down your spine, or the monsters you would never want to encounter alone in a dark night. Happy Halloween.
Ooh. There are some great Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Early Yu-Gi-Oh had a lot of horror and like occult kind of just themes.
A card that I still don't like looking at to this day is Necroface.
Necroface?
I don't like looking at that
I
card.
really don't like Necroface either. It's very disturbing.
You played it.
Necroface?
Thought you did. Didn't you have a deck that had brand Necroface?
Oh no,
Maybe not.
I've never been like.
Or maybe it's like a sealed game we were playing.
It probably a sealed game. I don't like Necroface. It's definitely up there. It might actually be my pick too because
it's an upsetting thing to look at.
It's one of the worst. Like, one of the ones that's kind of creepy to me is like the original art of Fiend Comedian. I need to find it to double check.
I like Fiend Comedian.
Well, which one do you like?
Is there more than one?
Yeah, so Fiend Comedian got a completely different like artwork in the Yeah, okay. Here we go. In the TCG, it's like way different than the art
for
the OCG.
Snap.
Yeah, the OCG art is terrifying.
Yeah, what the hell?
It's two fiends and like they are, I guess, doing a little comedy routine.
Those guys are terrifying.
But yeah, these always like.
Why is his tongue so veiny?
Yeah, it's insane. Like it's actually insane.
Yeah, no, that's that could definitely win the award. Jesus Christ.
That's so bad. Like Yu-Gi-Oh has a few of those. Like it really does.
Yeah, there's another card. Oh, there's a couple gimmick puppets I don't like either.
Yeah, the gimmick puppets.
Really the entire archetype, but there's one specifically that throws me off. Like, don't ask me the name because I do not remember.
And our final one comes from Dim Hop. This is also another one of our like top fans. Kellu, Dim Hop. Yeah, these people they show. That's a very popular. Okay, anyway. For my spooky question, what is your most supernatural encounter that you could just never explain? He goes on to give an example of, it doesn't show me the full thing. Come on, tablet. Well, anyway, most supernatural encounter that you can never explain? I'm going to actually go on a limb and say, I don't feel like I have had any supernatural encounters in my life, but I've had things that are like, they're not supernatural. I know exactly why they happened, but they felt that way. So like, for instance, like I don't really believe in like ghosts and like kind of, that sort of stuff. But a weird thing that happened to me once that felt like creepy and like had me shook was once I got surgery on my foot. You remember this. I got like a foot surgery and I had to be on painkillers. And when I was on painkillers and I was like I was in like my sister's apartment for a while, and like she and her husband were away from the apartment. They were like, hey, we're gonna just be gone for just a little bit, And I was on like the painkiller. I'm supposed to kind of be asleep, I guess. And I started hearing voices inside of the room, like as though they were having conversations in the room. Some of them were like people I knew, like voices you might have been one.
I wasn't there.
Yeah, and like me. Some of it was like voices I didn't recognize, and it was crazy because I was also in like a half sleep, which I guess is what like freaking hydroxychloroquine or whatever hydrocodone, I think was what it was called. Like it was so creepy. Like I was scared because like I couldn't wake up, but like I was hearing these voices in this room, like, and they weren't even talking to me. They were like talking to each other about stuff, and I was like, oh my God. So it wasn't supernatural.
That's crazy. Not even being the main character of your own experience.
So it wasn't supernatural.
I was a fly in the wall, like.
But that's creepy. It almost made it creepier. Because then, like, when I finally did kind of like wake up and I go, no one's here.
I mean, they probably saw that you were awake and they shut up. They're like, oh
yeah. Then everyone's like, oh, he's awake. Let's be quiet now.
This guy.
Yeah. What about you? Do you?
Nah, Paul. You know I don't do all that supernatural mess. I don't mess with the occult. I don't mess with ghosts, vampires, spooks, geists. Ghosts, like none of it, revenants, not a single iota of it.
Did something scare you from doing that?
You play in that little circle, and that's when things start happening to you. So I just don't do that.
Wait, so did something happen?
Nothing's ever happened to me.
So what scared you to not doing this? I feel like there's like something that you've heard.
Culturally, we don't deal in that sort of thing.
Okay.
Now, but that would be a boring answer. So. When I remember as a very, very young child, I would stay over at my grandmother's house, and I honestly thought her house was haunted at night. I truly thought that something was wandering her hallways at night. And the reason why I thought this is because my room was kind of like adjacent from hers. I couldn't quite directly see in it, but I knew she was in her room. Mm-hmm. But I hear like squeaking as if like someone was like walking through the hallway. Now, as an adult, I know for a fact that was her smoke detectors that had been chirping the whole time.
Oh my God.
But as a kid, I didn't know. It sounded like a sneaker going across like a basketball court, and she had the type of like flooring where shoes would squeak on them. So I thought someone was walking through the hallways, but nobody was there.
I will say I'm a sucker for spooky ambiance.
Hated it. Yeah, I would try to go to sleep so hard.
I like the idea of like, you know, like kind of spooky locations and like scary seasons of the year and all that stuff. But like
didn't like it one bit.
But yeah, like I'm not very I guess I don't know. Like I don't believe
Halloween is my least favorite time of the year.
Well,
I only put up
great time to be doing this podcast.
Thanksgiving is next.
Okay, so I guess that's it for this week's episode of the Pod of Greed.
That's a wrap.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Reminder: this is sponsored by eWin Racing. So if you want to pick up one of these shares, you can use the code APS30 over on their website and grab one for yourself. Without further ado, we'll see you guys next week.
Pass turn.